Hey everybody, I'm Jen Garrett. My passion for football and pushing boundaries has helped me to create a successful business using the same performance building principles of the world's best players. Through my Move the Ball book, workshops, and consulting work, I've used the same system to help thousands of people to think and execute like a pro athlete when it comes to business and branding. Now, I'm on a mission to help you utilize those tools and strategies to elevate your hustle and get you across the goal line. So get ready. It's time to suit up, to show up, and to move the ball. Hey, everyone. It's great to be back with you for another episode of Move the Ball. If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you've been a part of the Move the Ball movement for quite some time, welcome back. As you all know, on this podcast, we talk about business, branding, sports, and of course, how to move the ball. Now, this episode is part of my special Path to the Draft series, where I'm having conversations with NFL draft prospects on their path to the draft. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the podcast, make sure that you do so today so that you never miss an episode as part of this series or as part of the regular show. I've got a lot of great guests planned for this season that have already come on as well. So check them out. All right. So for today, I've got an incredible guest with us. Ready to share his story and talk about his path to the draft is Nakobe Dean. Nakobe is a linebacker who played college football at the University of Georgia. During his 3-year career as a Bulldog, he recorded 168 tackles, 89 of them solo, 7.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and one of those being a pick 6. This past season, Nakobe became a CFP National Champion. Congratulations, Nakobe. And he was also named the AP and Coaches All-SEC First Team and named SEC Defensive Player of the Year by Pro Football Focus. So we will talk about all of that, the NFL Combine, and more on today's episode. Nakobe, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited to chat with you. I've been looking forward to this episode for quite some time. I saw you as we were heading down to Indy for the Combine. We were actually on the same super packed flight. It's hard to believe it's been over a month since then. Time is just flying by. But where I wanted to kick off our conversation is let's just discuss, how did you get into football? When was the first time you picked up a football or suited up? And what about it made you fall in love with the game?
Well, I started in the Boys and Girls Club at Tunica Rec Center. Just basically really started there. My mother worked in Tunica. That's where she's from. So she kind of stuck us in the Boys and Girls Club after schools. There I played football, basketball, and baseball. And I hadn't looked back since, really. That's just kind of where it started.
And what about the sport really excited you about it?
Physicality. I was kind of like at a younger age. I was a boy that was always wrestling with my peers. I always wrestled with my brother. So actually being able to just have some display physicality, no matter how big or how small the guy were across from you, just knowing that you can just be physical with him, and it's like no other time you can be that physical. That was probably one of the primary reasons I had fell in love with it initially.
Okay. Now, my listeners know that this whole Move the Ball movement started with me writing a book on football called Move the Ball. And in that book, I talk about lessons and strategies that I've taken away from the game that I feel help people to be successful both on and off the field. When you look back at what football has taught you, what are some of the lessons that you've taken away from the game that you feel will help you as you transition into this next chapter of being a professional football player?
Man, football has helped me greatly on and off the field. I feel like from a mental standpoint, not just from a competition or athletic standpoint, I feel like football has basically pushed me to set goals for myself and accomplish those goals on and off the field. So it has built mental toughness. It has made me more of a sociable person, being able to talk in public just because of the positions it had put me in. So, I've learned a lot from football, just in life. I feel like my high school coach texted me a couple of weeks ago and asked me that he wanted to tell his new team why did I love football. So he asked me basically why did I love football, and at the moment, and my answer was basically the lessons that it teach you, the life lessons, not just the physicality or the accolades or the fame you get from it. I feel like the life lessons is the best thing that you learn from football.
For sure. There are so many things that football teaches us to be successful in whatever it is that we choose to do. So when you look at the linebacker position, what in your mind are the skills necessary to excel at this position? And secondly, what makes you elite?
Right. I feel like at linebacker, you got to be smart. You got to be smart. You got to be a leader. You got to be violent. You got to be smart. You got to be a leader. You got to be violent. You got to be tough. You got to be resilient. I feel like all those things, and I feel like the thing that like sets me out is my mindset. And I feel like that in every aspect of my life, not just football. I feel like my mindset sets me apart from other people, because I feel like my mindset is second to none, unmatched. So I feel like all those together basically has helped me along the way.
Great answer. So you're from Mississippi, from Horn Lake, went to Horn Lake High School. Back in 2018, you received a phone call from NFL Hall of Famer Dick Butkus, calling to congratulate you on winning the 2018 High School Butkus Award. And for those who aren't familiar with that, it's voted for the best high school linebacker in the country. Quite an honor. What was that phone call like?
It was great. It was great. My coach and everybody had called like a team meeting up. We never really had team meetings, so it was kind of weird. But he had called a team meeting up after after the season was over. It was late in the season one. He just called the team meeting up, and Matt Butkus, his son, walked in with the trophy, and it was like, and then they kind of like presented me with it, and just like it was a nice, good feeling, definitely for high school. It was definitely a surprise. I was definitely surprised. I didn't think I was going to win it. I wasn't looking. I was looking for it. I was so focused on the season, focused on winning the state championship. So when it happened, I was like, it was surprising for me that I had won. But it was great. It was great to be able to experience something like that.
Sure. And during your senior year, you had 134 tackles, 22 TFLs, 6 sacks, 3 interceptions. You led your team to a high school state championship, as you mentioned. You actually won the Mr. Football Award as well. And so my question for you is, what were you doing in high school that was different from your peers? Like, what's the Nakobe Dean secret?
High school, my schedule was regimented. It was kind of like strict. It was school. It was school, practice. After practice, I'm going home, doing a little homework. If it was Monday and Wednesday, I went to the gym a little bit more. So I did a little homework. I'd go to the gym and I'd come back home, do homework, eat, and be asleep by 10:30, 11 o'clock for the next day of school. And that was just kind of how it was every day for me. I feel like college was a little different because, in high school, you go to the same class every day. College, everything switched up, so you go to different classes. So the schedule was a little bit different, but you still got on a little routine. But high school, it was just literally, it was the same. It was the same thing. I literally did the same thing. I mean, weekends, it was different, of course, but during the week, I literally did the same thing. And I feel like that just helped me basically organize myself. It kept me grounded. I wouldn't say that if I would have did something else, it wouldn't have helped me. But I feel like just having a routine and knowing what I needed to do to be the best that I could be, just helped me greatly. So I feel like that set me apart.
And going back to the Butkus Award, after you won that award, you had said, winning this award and being considered one of the top linebackers in the nation just gives me more inspiration to work hard. It's a great award, but I feel like I have a lot more to do to get better. When you said that, what were some of the things that you thought you needed to improve upon to be able to excel at the next level?
This in every case, in every facet of my game, I feel like this whole pre-draft process has basically just made the chip on my shoulder go larger. So I feel like it's a lot of work I need to put in. I feel like I'm back to square one as far as just like coming into high school and just like coming into college. Just reminding to myself that I'm not trying to prove anything, so to speak. I'm trying to anybody but myself. I feel like it's me versus me 100% of the time.
Sure. And when it comes to college football, you had over 40 offers. We're considering many SEC schools: Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU. Ultimately, you chose to be a Bulldog. Why Georgia?
I chose Georgia. I was at the Mississippi versus Alabama All-Star game. I prayed on it before I took a nap. I prayed on it. I was like, God, I need to sign because I kind of had put it on the back burner because I wanted to win a national championship. So I kind of put it on the back burner. I was just focusing on winning the national championship. And then prayed on it. Then the first person to call me when I woke up was Kirby Smart. He called me and was like, I kind of tried to ignore the sign, like, yeah, that ain't it. But it kept Georgia in the back of my mind. So it kept Georgia in the back of my mind. But eventually, when it came down to it, I feel like it was a good feeling. I feel like it was far enough away from home to help me mature as an individual, as a person, as a more sociable person. I feel like I was a little bit less sociable than I am now. So all those things mixed, and I feel like it turned out to be a nice decision.
And as a true freshman, you ended up having 25 tackles, 1.5 TFLs, a forced fumble. You won the Defensive Newcomer of the Year award. How was the transition to Georgia football for you, and how are you feeling after that first season?
It was hard from the aspect of everything, from being away from home, from learning a new playbook, just learning football, because I feel like high school, I didn't know what coverages were. So high school, I was just basically playing the call. I learned the call and I played like that. And now in college, you learn cover 0 to cover 9. So it just learning football and learning the playbook, being away from home, you in harder classes. Not too many people trying to tell you what to do, when to wake up, when to go to sleep, things like that. So you just had to learn. You had to learn how to manage your time. So, but eventually you get it. You get it down pat. Competition harder. I feel like, the competition harder, but at the end of the day, I feel like the biggest thing in Georgia was getting over the mental curve, as far as being mentally tough, conditioning-wise, physicality-wise, and just learning the playbook. I feel like those was the biggest thing.
And what did you do to help ensure your success, to be able to learn the playbook, get that mental toughness, and be ready to play at that level?
Yeah, it was just hard work. It was hard work. That's the only way I can put it. It was just hard work. It was long nights to just stand up, prayer, because it be days that you kind of feel discouraged. So a lot of hard work, a lot of prayer, just helped me. Help me continue to persevere and get through those growing pains.
And let's spend a few minutes talking about the 2020 season. In football and life, we always have to adjust, adapt to situations around us. The COVID year was one that none of us have ever experienced. What was it like that season for you? You ended up being Georgia's leading tackler, started all 10 games of the season, dominated on defense. How was that season for you, and what did you have to do to adjust?
Yeah, so the season, it was when COVID hit, made everything a little harder. It kind of reset me as far as being in the classroom also, because I went from finally getting the hang of it to having to try to find out how to learn via Zoom. So I had to reset my mind. I had to basically kind of reset and then kind of start things over. And it did that for a lot of people. It affected a lot of people mentally and physically. COVID did, but this season was really weird, but all in all, we was able to have football. We was able to have football season. He was playing a game, not knowing if he was going to play again, because we had Vanderbilt canceled. They rescheduled and they canceled again. So you weren't able to play every game due to most of the time it was COVID reasons and things like that. That year I had torn my labrum, my right shoulder, my labrum, in preseason practice, but I played with it throughout. So that season taught me a lot. Being able to just be toughness, thug it out, and just continue to persevere. And it taught me also how to basically check on my strong friends, because a lot of people were struggling during COVID, even from a mental standpoint. Just, definitely the social people who used to being around people and talking to people all the time. So 2020 taught me a lot.
For sure. And so fast forwarding to 2021, Georgia obviously had a great season, #1 defense in all of college football. What do you attribute to the defense's success?
I feel like it was, first I can say it was the connection piece, the connection of the team. We talked about it during the offseason. I feel like all season we focus on building our connection as a team, getting to know each other better, and they helped us on and off the field from being able to hold each other accountable in the classroom or on the field. And then on the defense side of the ball, I feel like we set out to push to be the best defense to ever do it, not just the best defense, but that year. Like at the end of the games, when we was comparing our overall stats, overall takeaways, and things like that, we compared them to some of the best defenses in the NFL and in the college football that has ever come through there. It was not just we never compared to the teams, the other defenses in 2021. So, and we had those goals. We set out with those goals before the first game of the season, and we just continued to just push and work towards it.
Well, you definitely showed out, and the team showed out every single Saturday. So let's talk about your performance specifically. You were the College Butkus Award winner this past season. Congratulations again on that. And you finished with 72 tackles, 36 solo, 10.5 TFL, 6 sacks, 5 passes deflected, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. Like I said, one of those was a pick 6 as well. So, I mean, what were you doing to ensure that you were the best of the best?
Oh yeah, it definitely started in off season. I missed the whole spring, the spring before the season due to my surgery. I had surgery on my shoulder, so in that spring kind of helped me become more see everything from a coach's perspective, and they kind of opened my mind up. Also helped me learn to not only just I already knew the playbook. I only now was able to deeply understand it, deeply see how things are supposed to fit, how the safety is supposed to come down, how the D-line is supposed to work with the linebackers, how the linebackers is supposed to work with the DBs. So all that together kind of helped me in the shooting. My linebacker coach, he challenged the linebackers to be better tacklers, better coverage, better blitzers. So all those things kind of put together basically helped me become kind of the type of player I was this season. But it's continuing to work. There's a lot more work I got to put in. The reason I was able to do things I was able to do this season because I worked at it. It didn't happen overnight. It was a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears put in. So, and that's basically what I'm putting in now, getting ready for the league.
Sure. And so I want to talk about winning the Natty in a second. But as you look back at your college career, aside from winning the national championship, what was the most memorable part of your time at Georgia?
The relationships. I feel like the relationships I have got lifelong relationships at the University of Georgia. I was able to, join a fraternity. The friends I made in the school of engineering, some of the teammates I have played with. Those I feel like I have made lifelong friendship in those. So I feel like my biggest thing was a relationship to the connections I was able to make while I was at Georgia.
Great answer. So let's talk about winning the Natty. What was it like going into the playoffs and then having to face Alabama again after losing in the SEC championship?
Well, yeah, we was mad, we was angry, not so much so because we feel like a lot of people tried. Like we lost the first game because we feel like a lot of people tried to downplay our victory throughout the season after that. Like and with them downplaying our victory, we took it as disrespect, like in downplaying our hard work, basically. So we did play pissed off with a bigger chip on our shoulder. Then was already there. So, but being able to win in the fashion that we did, to come back and do it again, to come back and beat them the second time and win the whole thing, it was special. It was definitely a feeling of euphoria. So it was just a surreal feeling. It was great.
For sure. And congratulations again to you and the team. Outstanding job in that national championship game and the entire season. I mean, a lot to be proud of this past season as well. So you've hung up your college cleats and now you're getting ready for the draft. Talk to us about what were some of the things you were really focused on in your pre-draft training?
Some of the things I was really focused on was just, first I had to get my body right. I had to get my body right. Did when I got my body right, then I kind of just focused on the testing, the numbers and everything. And then, unfortunately, I had ended up hurting myself, straining my pec, so it kind of sidelined me. Initially, it was definitely real kind of like, disappointing. You dream of being able to come by and dream of running before doing all this, showing the teams what you got. So me being hurt a lot of the times kind of made it harder for me. So, but all in all, it's been a great experience. It was a great experience being there, meeting the people I did, speaking with the teams I did. It was great. All in all.
Sure. I mean, there's obviously you look forward to doing those positional drills and the different tests, but you also get to network and to connect and interview with different coaches and teams and scouts and stuff as well. So there's a lot of other things that goes on during Combine Week besides just the drills.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So Nakobe, what I want to do now is I want to run you through my 2-minute drill and ask you some fun questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
All right. The first question is, outside of football, what do you like to do?
I like to fish. I like to fish. I like to chill with friends. I'm not a big movie watcher, but I like to look up different business opportunities, things I can get into to basically build my portfolio.
Very smart thing to do. Next question is, what is one thing that most people don't know about you?
I'll say my favorite color is green. I don't know. I don't think people know that about me.
Okay, it's not red.
No.
Next question is, what 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
I use smart, tenacious, and ambitious.
3 great words. If you had one intro song played at all of your public appearances, what would that one song be?
To keep it nice and sweet with PG, I'll say like, is it a old blues song, Mississippi Boy. I am from Mississippi.
Okay. What is the best piece of advice that you've been given by a coach?
Best piece of advice I would give my coach: control what I can control. And also they don't care. No matter how hard you work, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, they don't care. People don't care about that. They just care about what have you done for them lately. I feel like that's the best advice I've got.
Sure. Now I'm going to flip it and ask, what's the best piece of advice that you would give someone?
Basically, I reciprocate the same thing. I feel like the best piece of advice I gave anybody was they don't care. I know mean guys, the younger guys who probably was struggling at home, and they were kind of almost trying to blame that on why they was acting the way they was acting. So when I sit down and talk to them, it's like, no, they don't care. Nobody cares that you grew up rough,
Right.
And I'm not to say that in like a heartless way. I'm saying you got to put in the work because you now that you in the same position as that guy who grew up with both parents at home and had food to eat every night. So they don't care how you came up, how you get. When you make it to that point, everybody on the same level, and you got to prove yourself day in and day out.
Right. It's all about the results and what you can do for them, as you mentioned.
Exactly.
So my next question is, you're hosting a dinner party and you can invite 3 famous people, living or deceased. Who would you choose and why?
That's a great question. I'm going to have to go with Michael Jackson, because he's Michael Jackson. He maybe a scene for us. Warren Buffett. I just want to sit down and just talk to him. He maybe give me a tip or something about how he's going to be a billionaire. And I say Beyonce. I can't think of nobody else. Beyonce.
Great choice. Beyonce. Great choice. Have a female in that group. Always important. Yeah. All right. Yeah. My last question is, do you sing in the shower?
I do.
Are you good at it?
I will. I will sing in the shower. I think I sound good.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's what's important. All right. So I got one last question for you. And basically, if a team were to ask, why should I pick you, Nakobe, over somebody else? What would you say? I'll say,
first I'll start off with, I don't know about the other guy, but for me, I feel like my mindset unmatched. I'm gonna give you 110% in everything I do. I can't do nothing to talk about myself. I'm gonna control what I can control, and I'm gonna be the best I can be. And not only on the field, but off the field, also in life.
Great answer. All right. So as we look to end the show, where can people follow you? Where are you at on social media?
Social media, I'm on most of them on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at Nakobe Dean. I mean, on Twitter as Nakobe Dean, and you can find me on Instagram as Nakobe Dean. You just type in my name. So
Perfect.
Yeah, both of them.
And we'll have those in the show notes so people can follow you on your journey. Thanks so much for joining us today, Nakobe. It's been great chatting with you.
Definitely. Thank you.
And thank you to everyone for listening, and we will catch you next time. If you like the show, make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you have not yet done so, and make sure you share it with a friend or two or three. That's one way you can help me to move the ball. All right, everyone, thanks again for listening, and we will talk to you next time. Until then, make sure that you suit up, you show up, and you move the ball.
Thank you for listening to Move the Ball. To see more about what I'm up to and how I can help you to move the ball in your business, with your brand, or your career, check out my website at www.getinsidethehuddle.com. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you never miss an episode, and also join the Move the Ball Facebook group for even more content and to be a part of the Move the Ball movement.